Alright, so we're gonna kick it off with a plain Brooklyn theme, and this is because a lot of people use it, and I think it's a very good base to customize. Now, just to show you that we're talking about a completely plain theme, here it is. There's nothing interesting. So the first thing we're gonna do, and this is not necessary in all themes, but you might want to check before you jump into editing any code, would be to see your product page theme customizer and make sure you have the dynamic checkout button unchecked, and in case there is an option for sizing your add to cart button, you would like to select the largest one. Now, not every theme has this, but you will have to check beforehand. So as you can see, it became big. Now the first thing I'm going to do is jump into my code and select product template liquid and run down and locate my add to cart button. Usually you can just find it by searching for button, and here it is, as you can see. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, before I add any geometric aspects to the add to cart, so the first thing I'm going to do is separate everything and add my first piece of the code, and this is the CSS part for the sticky add to cart. Now once you add this, nothing will happen, but you will need this later on during this tutorial in order to get the button to stick at the bottom. So as you can see, for me just refreshing, nothing has really changed. We're back at the same. So yeah, nothing has happened. Now the first thing I'm going to do, actually the second, is add this line over here, and this line has all the geometric and appearance related aspects to our add to cart button customization. So make sure to add it just at the bottom of the opening button tag, the one that has all this stuff. Just at the bottom, paste this whole line. It's a long line, and we're going to go through each and everything together so you know what to modify and what does what. So first let's save and see what happened. Boom, new button, completely different. Okay, so the first part is the background color, and this would be your green, right? This would be this green color. Now you don't have to stick with it. You can choose whatever you want. You can go with your store's color. However, I always recommend green because I've seen it overperform in so many different cases. Now width 100%, I suggest you keep it that way, and height 65 pixels is what controls the thickness of the button. So if you find it to be too bulky and thick, you can decrease it, or if you want it a little bit bulkier, you can increase it. Your border bottom would be this 3D effect over here, the line that makes it look like a 3D button. Now if you don't want this, you can just delete it. And next we have the border radius, and this controls your roundness of the button. If you want it to be more square, you'd have to decrease this number, and if you want it to be more round, you'd have to increase this number. Now box shadow is the shadow effect you see behind the button. I find it that it makes it look more 3D and more realistic, but if you want to change it, play with these numbers, you'll quickly figure out what does what. And if you don't want it at all, just delete it. And font weight bold, that's pretty self-explanatory. Font size 24 pixels. I prefer like big, large, easy to read fonts, but you can of course modify this to your liking, and color white keeps the font color white. So that's pretty much each aspect of the add to cart button customization. You can delete, you can change, it's up to you. You control everything. Alright, so now that we got this out of the way and you have your button fixed exactly the way you want to, now if you choose to do so, we're going to add a second add to cart button at the bottom of the description, which is going to turn into a sticky button in your mobile version. And I prefer to do it this way instead of just turning your single add to cart button into sticky, because I've seen on Hotjar people get confused if the add to cart button is not in the place you would expect it to be. Even if it's sticky, you'd rather have more chances, give the person more chances to click on it without any friction or any confusion, any difficulty. So if that makes sense to you and you want to follow my recommendation, we're going to add the button a second time at the bottom. So first we're just going to copy the button tag from the opening to the ending. We're going to have to find it, carefully find it, select it and copy it, and underneath you're going to find the description and you're going to paste it. But there's another thing that you need to do to get it to work. You'd have to search for the end form tag, or in some cases it will be written as /form. This ends the form, and you're going to have to cut that out and put it under your second button tag. I know this gets a little confusing, but try to follow me here. You'd have to extend the form underneath your product description and your second button in order for your second add to cart button to work. If you don't see a form tag, it's probably okay to just paste a button there, but most of the time there is a form tag. So we're gonna save this and see how it looks. And boom, as expected, we have a second button under the description. Now keep in mind that now I have like two, 3 words in my description, but you're gonna have a long description, so this will appear down at the bottom and won't look awkward just like it does over here. So with that being said, we're gonna go in and do the last part, which is the sticky part. Okay, so now that we've installed our second button tag successfully, we might want to check that it works. You can click to see that it works. Yes, it works just fine. As you can see, the number increases, the quantity increases, so it works. If it doesn't, it's most likely your end form or /form tag that is misplaced. So once you make sure that it works, you're going to notice that even on mobile view, it still stays static. It still has an absolute position. What we're going to do in order to make it sticky is go up into our style CSS tag that we installed in the beginning, copy this sticky ATC and find our second button tag and find the class. And now not every theme has a button tag with a class in it. If it doesn't, you're going to have to create it by writing class equals opening quotation marks and adding the text sticky ATC. But if it does, just insert it in here. Okay, and save. Now let's go back into our theme, and as you can see by refreshing, boom, our button is stuck at the bottom and 100% functional. And I really hope you find this useful, because it has really helped with my conversion rate for sure, and other people that I know have been using the same thing to boost their conversion rates. If you have problems, I know this is a little bit more advanced than what I usually do, but if you have problems with the installation, and especially if it's a quick and easy fix, I'll be more than happy to help you. But yeah, I think this is very useful. Oh, and before I go, I would like to show you how to edit the text, the wording on your add to cart if it's not the one you want. So you'd have to go to your online store themes and click the drop down and click edit languages and go into products, select the products tab and search add to cart, and over here you can select anything. You can turn it into buy now, and remember remember to save. So if we go over here, boom, now it's turned into buy now. So yeah, this is it. I don't want to drag it on anymore. I hope you liked it. Play with it, fix it, make it, turn it to exactly the way you would like it to be. Add trust badges underneath, you know, the stuff. And if you have any questions, talk to me and I'll help you, okay? And I'm gonna be releasing more stuff soon. And I really appreciate the support so far, okay? So talk to you soon.